featured in the best-selling Tadagiriya Dinagalu, which won the Karnataka State Sahitya Academy Award. His book, In the Path of Modern Mages, based on his personal experiences, is considered a classic in Kannada. His latest book, The Gangster's Gita, has received critics and readers' appreciation. He has 6 other works to his credit. A film based on his life, Dinagalu, which he scripted with award-winning playwright late Mr. Girish Karnad, received critical acclaim. It also won the state award. He is also actively involved in social causes. We're very happy to have you here, sir. Joining him on the panel is Mr. Anthonythasan, Jesuthasan, who is an exceptional writer, author of 4 novels, several collections of short stories, and numerous essays, plays, and scripts. A former child soldier of the liberation movement of the Tamil Tigers, he arrived in France in 1993, where he was granted political asylum. His extraordinarily innovative work was translated into French for the first time and was an immense discovery. He is the lead actor in Jacques Audier's superb film, Deepan, which won the best film at the Palme d'Or at Cannes in 2015. We're very happy to have you here. The session will be moderated by Mr. Kulpreet Yadav, who is a best-selling author and motivational speaker. He retired voluntarily from the armed forces to pursue a career in writing in 2014. He was the winner of the Best Fiction Writer for 2018 award at the Gurgaon Literature Festival. Over to you, Mr. Yadav.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Welcome to the session. My name is Kulpreet, as you've already learned. And the first question that I have in my mind is, whom should I ask first? This man, Mr. Agni, Sreedhar, who's been a gangster in his formative years, early years, or Mr. Anthonythasan, who's been a militant because in his formative years, because I don't know whom I'm going to annoy by asking the other. But I think I should not really worry because I worn uniform for 23 years. And as an officer in uniform, I should not be scared of gangsters and militants, right? So it's a very curious mix of 3 of us, and I'm just, what an irony it is. I started my career from the Naval Officers Academy, became an officer, worked for 23 years, commanded 3 units, and thereafter gave it all up in 2014 because I thought, let me do something else. I started writing books, and just 3 months ago, I co-produced 3 short films which are getting edited at the moment. And in a similar way, Mr. Agni also now writes books. He's got a tabloid, he's an activist, and he's also a very well-known, renowned, critically acclaimed filmmaker. So books and films, and also here with Anthonythasan, also books and films. So that is what has brought us on a common page. I think it's just the life's biggest irony. I would like to begin by asking Mr. Agni Sreedhar, because seniority-wise, that's what we've been taught in the defense forces. So tell me, sir, role of books and cinema on society.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm so happy sitting here along with a militant and a naval officer. The thing about, though I'll come to the question later, though I was in the underworld for more than a couple of decades, we used to come across all sorts of people, including naval officers. In fact, one of the main characters in the underworld, which you might have heard if you are a Bengalurian, there is Kotwal Ramachandra, was also a naval officer. He escaped from Navy and became a very big name in Karnataka underworld. Now, Mr. Yadav has asked me about the role of books and films in society. Just imagine our society without books. Without books. I'm not telling about 2020. Even go back by 1 millennia, even 1020, or even before that. Because books started shaping our lives even about 2500 years ago. Just look at the world without two books, that is Bible and Quran, then you will understand the importance of books. If there were no books, there would have been no religion at all, no political ideology at all. Nothing, everything is created because of books. Because books are the tools of language. Without language, what are we? We are nothing. We are in no way better than any other animal. We are different from all the other species because of language. And what is film? Film is an extension of that language, of the books. See, totally, my friends, art is everything. Because art is the perfume of life. It comes out of life. It comes out of sweat. It comes out of the blood and flesh of humans. The language, the art, it is shaping our lives. It is making me why I am human. Why I am not just an animal. I am an animal. But I go beyond that in shaping my reality because of language. For me, books and films and any form of arts is bigger than life and bigger than everything.
Thank you, Mr. Agni. I think very nicely put up. Can I come to you, Anthonythasan? Should I call you Anthonythasan or Anthony is fine? Anthony is fine. So you joined LTT when you were 15, and you were there with LTT for 4 years. What I gathered from my research. And then at the age of 19, you were arrested in Colombo, where you were living. And thereafter, you were released after some time. And then you migrated to Hong Kong. And thereafter, you found yourself in France. Now, this is your journey. Now, tell us, today when you reflect back on your, the initial days when you were there in LTT and now you're an actor, activist, writer, what do you think about that organization? Yeah, LTT. Because at that time your thoughts must have been different. Now your thoughts are obviously different. It's a very difficult question to ask, but I thought if you can just give us your ideas or thoughts about it.
Good evening all. In 1983, when I was 15 years old, in Sri Lanka, in big riots happened against two minority Tamils organized by Sri Lankan state. So huge Tamils, I think more than 3,000 Tamils killed in the street and raped. And 84, the Sri Lankan military bombed in our villages. So that time, I thought how I can save myself and my family and my people. So therefore, I have left my school and I have joined that with Tamil Tigers. So that time, in the 83, world political situation is different. That time Soviet Union exists. So our model is Cuba, Vietnam, Muktivadini, like this. LTT said we are fighting for socialist Tamil. Socialist Tamil. No caste, no class, no any different. Therefore, I joined up to that movement. Because when I was 10 years old or 11 years old, I followed Marxism, I studied about Communist Manifesto, yes. But in the middle of the 86, LTT got all civil administration in north and east part, and that socialist movement become a power center. So from the 86, LTT changed. They killed Sinhalese civilian, they killed Muslims, they killed their own communities, intellectual artists who critique LTT killed. So therefore, I had some political contradiction with movement. So I have left movement end of the 1986.
But yeah, it's a very, very powerful story. But tell me, Mr. Anthony, when you were 19, right, were you very clear in your mind that LTT has probably moved away from their original goal and what they're doing is wrong and you need to disassociate with them?
No, only one thing, not 19 years old. Even when I was 5 years old, I know don't kill anyone. That is strong. Don't kill how I call it, the civilian. That is basic moral, no?
Yeah, absolutely. I just want to connect Mr. Agni, you and him, and just help us understand with your vast experience, even as an underworld person, you must have had some contact with some of the militant organizations. So just help us understand how these two very different ideological bodies, how they work differently and where it overlaps, if it does.
Mr. Yadav, underworld has no causes, has no commitments. It's all, most of the times it is personal. Now it is becoming business, especially in Mumbai and such places. Otherwise, it used to be personal. We did not have group ideology or crowd ideology. One interesting point which I want to share with Anthony is, we were in jail between 1986 and 1988 for the killing of Kotwal Ramachandra case. During that time, between me and another person who many in Bangalore know, that is Bachan, they used to sleep a boy by name Anthonythasan. Anthonythasan was in LTT. During that time, they robbed a jewelry store, and it was in MG Road, and he was caught in Yeshwantpur. He was not able to escape, and he was just 17 years old. And we were big people in the Bangalore underworld were there in jail during that time, and the boss was MP Jairaj. And MP Jairaj was always against police. Most of the underworld is naturally, they are against the system, and the system is reflected with police. Always he used to say, somehow we should make the plan to trouble police. If given a chance, we should bomb the police. And Anthonythasan, one day he was there when we were discussing it, just 17 years old. Jairaj was there, and anybody even in jail would be scared to look Jairaj in the face. So we were discussing about police, and Jairaj thought he will be able to say more about police because he confused police with military, and the militants were facing military in Sri Lanka. So he was saying, what Anthonythasan, you are a young boy, 17 years old. We want to take revenge against the police because most of the times they fix us in false cases. So what is your suggestion? How to go about it? Even today I cannot forget it, and I wrote it in my Dada Iredilu, my days in the underworld, what that boy of 17 years old told to Jairaj and us, because we were maintaining him also. In the jail, in any jail in the world, underworld which is at the top in that particular city will be taking care of lots of people. So that boy said, Anna, to Jairaj only, looking at him, on his eyes he said, why do you want to kill police? Why do you want to trouble police? Have they raped your sister? This is the same with voice. Have they raped your sister? Your mothers, your daughters? Are they troubling any other man who is not involved in violent activities? You could have been a professor, you could have been an auto driver, you could have been a school driver. Nobody would trouble you. Because you are in the underworld, they are arresting you. Maybe sometimes they fix you in the false cases for their own reasons, or they, by thinking wrongly about society. That does not mean you have to kill them. And in India, you are a free citizen. You can go to the court, you can go to the press, and you can be active politically and turn back the situation. Our case is different, Anna. In front of our eyes, our sisters were raped, boys were killed, girls were killed. We are treated as animals, less than animals. So we were forced to do it. You should not even think about it. We were shocked. We were shocked. And in the night, when Bachchan and myself, we were asking him, how can you say like that? At least you should have said, yes, the system, you are socialist in your causes. And Anthony was telling, in the beginning of any revolution, cause is everything. After sometimes, cause will vanish. Politics will set in. And the same revolutionaries will become politicians. That's what is happening in India also. So that boy used to tell us, in fact, like I said, we cannot forget him. He was too young for us. And he was telling, this is a great country. If you go in some other path in this world, in your country, if you go straight, yes, there will be there, corruption will be there, all the other many negative things will be there in the society, but you can be a part of the group which can set it right, not violence. And he used to like me a lot because I'm an educated man. He used to say, Sreedhar, you should not be in this field. It is not fitting for you. That is what he used to tell us. I still remember it.
Excellent. Very nice. Mr. Agni, we would move now towards your books. And one of the recent book which is available here, ladies and gentlemen, very interesting title called Gangster Gita. Gangster Gita. Can you tell us, how these two terms can even exist together? Gita is Bhagavad Gita and gangster is, So two questions. One, do you really have some kind of rights and wrongs in the gangster world? And two, how is Gita relevant? What is this book about? Tell us. I'm really intrigued.
Gangster's Gita is about a Mumbai contract killer who comes to Bangalore to kill the top man in the underworld during that time. Fielding means watching his movements and informing about the movements to the Mumbai underworld about one Mr. Muttaparai. He had come here, and the same people who send him in some way, their own way, informs Muttaparai also that a boy is sent to Bangalore to field him. We caught him and we were forced to execute him. It is about the experiences during that time. See why it is called Gita. In Gita also it is about executing his own cousins. Arjuna is reluctant to do it, but he was forced to carry it by the advice of Krishna. And we consider it a classic dharmic book, a book about dharma, rights and wrongs. So this, my particular book, about this particular incident, also discusses lots of things about rights and wrongs in that world. Don't imagine that underworld is only about wrongs. It is as much wrongs as in the normal society, not more, or as much right as in the normal world. This is what I wanted to depict. And there, the boy who had come there, who had killed innumerable people, not less than about 80, 90, that underworld contract killers. Yeah, because it was his job, he was a professional killer. So he had come here and he started telling about his life, how he has entered into this world, how he was, in the beginning, though he was reluctant, he started accepting the killings, contract for killings, then how he became a very big name in the Mumbai underworld as well as Bangalore underworld. But the way he faced his death, he knew he would be killed, he was cut. And the man sitting in Dubai said, "Isko bech do." You know, bech do means Send him, kill him. The man who sent him said, Muttappa spoke to him in front of me. Why he has come here? He is fielding me. He is taking your name. What should I do? He said, Bech do. Isko bech do. It was almost like an order. He knew it. He was telling me, he became close to me. And he was telling me, I know though you are not telling that I am going to be killed, I know that the order has come from Upar. That is bech do. That's the only thing they know when somebody is cut. Yeah, go, I will be killed. And he started narrating about his life. And then advising me about many things. And what really struck me, haunted me for a long time till I wrote the book, was the way he faced his death with extreme dignity. Not even a single time he said, spare me. In fact, I became so close to him, I was wishing that he would escape. I was telling my associate Bachchan, I want him to escape. I want him to escape. And I knew my boss, Muttappa, even if he escaped, he would not have bothered much. Another life, that's all. Escaped. But he did not escape. He thought if he tries to escape, he may be butchered violently. So he decided. And above all these things, at the same time, he knew that already his entire picture is open to Mumbai police. Either he will be killed there, or he will be killed in Bangalore, or he has to escape permanently, for which he was not ready. Because all his emotions he was pinning down on a girl in Mumbai. So he thought getting killed is the best way, or death, accepting death is the dignified way. That's why I wrote the book.
Or will we see a cinema version of this?
Cinema already is made in Kannada and it has become a cult movie in Kannada by name Yadav, The Guts.
Have you people seen this movie? How many of you please raise your hands? Wow, fabulous. And have you read the book as well? Or some of you read the book. The book is of course available here. Coming to you, Anthony, you've got two books. One is called Gorilla, which came out in 2001, and you got a book called Traitor, 2003. Both of course deal obviously with the entity as the backdrop. But after that you've not written. So two questions. One, why haven't you written? I mean, unless my research is wrong, and you've written some books. Or how has writing allowed you to maintain sanity? Because the story that you told just a little while ago is something that I don't think all of us can maintain sanity after that kind of experience. So what writing did to you? And have you written any more books? Are you planning to write?
I wrote 20 books.
Oh, good, very good.
Yeah. So my first novel is Gorilla. That is kind of auto fiction. And so my experience, what happened in the LTT movement. That is my first novel. Second novel is Traitor. This is in 1983 in Colombo. There happened one prison massacre. Sri Lankan government killed 53 Tamil political prisoners in jail. So that is my second novel. Then I wrote, up to 20 books. So basically, I am a storyteller. So then I wrote other people's stories. So, I am a great fan of Tolstoy, Dostoevsky, Maxim Gorky, so that is my way. So when I went to France, so other world opened to me, like a Jean-Paul Sartre, Jacques Derrida, like this. So, very early stage, I think when I was 30s, I stopped this autobiography things, everything, nostalgia, everything. So now I am telling other people's stories. So, fiction and some political essays, and theatre and films. So 30 years, I never go back to Sri Lanka. But I have met a lot of Sri Lankan people somewhere in Europe, in Hong Kong, in Singapore, even in India. In South India, in Tamil Nadu, 100,000 Sri Lankan refugees lives in Rameshwaram or somewhere. I met them. So now I am telling their stories.
Okay. How many of you from Tamil Nadu? Tamil speaking people or from Tamil Nadu, please raise your hands. Quite a few of you, okay. You know, incidentally, though I live in Delhi and I hail from the state of Haryana, but I was born in Chennai. So my passport says, you know, Madras born. And when you are abroad, so it is like Indian born where? So in that sense, I also feel that I am a part Tamil. I would like to understand from you, in France, there is, of course, nowadays, why in France, everywhere else, people talk about Islamophobia, right? As a person who was associated with Tamil in the past, of course, everything has been, water has, you know, gone over it, it's all done, you're an artist now. Do you think people judge you as a Tamil? Is there Tamil phobia in France or anywhere that you've gone?
Yeah. So France means there are not one France. So different kind of the people, no? So I love French people. I love French working class. You know what happened last 2 years? It's a yellow jacket. Yeah, they did so many good things. So every Saturday Paris burned. Still now. At the same time, there are so much racist too. So you know, one political party, it's called FN, Front National. It's an extreme right wing. That party, in the last election, got 35% vote. So France going to crazy. But not entire France, but part of France going to crazy. Yeah, of course, Islamophobia everywhere in Europe. Everywhere in Europe. It's true. And against the African, against the Asian. So for example, when you go to the UK, some villages, some small town, they openly called you Paki and like this. I faced many times this situation. So in Australia, we cannot enter the bar. Maybe you cannot believe this. I was in Australia last year. I did theatre. So I did theatre in that Sydney Town Hall, 30 days. 60 shows. So after the show, I just go to the bar front of the town hall. They are not allowed to me because they are not refused directly, but they gave so many reasons. You are already drunk. You don't have identity card. You don't wear shoes. But then people said, I am looking as Aboriginal people. No? There's a smile in my face to the Aboriginal people. That means native people of Australia. So that's why they refused me in the bar. Not only me, maybe you know, the Bengaluru people, you know, Mr. Prakash Belwani. He also act with me this film. The first day, he and me went to the bar and reject both. It's happened.
Oh God. Okay, thank you for that. If I can say that, you know, we talk about Islamophobia and we just said about Tamil also. I have a friend, European friend, a white guy, who traveled through Afghanistan. And of course there, to save himself from the forces which are there underground, or rather in open sight, he was wearing a Pathani suit and the Afghani cap. And I asked him, I said, how was your journey? He said, I hitchhiked and moved around everywhere for about 30 days. I had a great time. But the only problem is, whenever any Afghani guy used to identify me as a white European, he used to just look at me and spit on me. Right? So that is how, so I said, why? He said, because so we can call it white phobia of Afghanistan, right? A new term just to think about. Yeah, I want to ask you now, Mr. Agni, how difficult was how difficult was it for you to transition? I'm very curious to know this. 20 years plus underworld and now a law-abiding citizen and also a filmmaker and a writer activist. How difficult was this transition?
See, the usual conception of ordinary people is, when we are in the underworld, We don't meet normal people at all. We are not here to be seen in the road at all. We are always holed up in some place, some God-forsaken place, where we'll be planning about eliminating somebody or kidnapping somebody and doing all sorts of violent things. But even in the underworld, well, I was in the underworld. We used to meet politicians, we used to meet police, we used to meet business people, we used to meet advocates, and you talk about law abiding. Whenever a crime happens, we used to get arrested or take anticipatory bail. The only thing is, normal people, usually, even after coming out, we don't interact with the strangers. But normal people will be thinking of the images created by the writings, created by the system about these underworld people. So they always, when I walk in Bangalore, many people will say, this is Agni. The way they raises their eyebrow is not because that I'm a writer, I'm an activist, I'm a filmmaker, only because he is from the underworld. He can get anybody finished, anybody killed. So obviously my face, my persona, my image is identified with the image they have. But when I walk, say in Pondicherry, say in Chennai, say in Mumbai, nobody will look at me because they don't have that image. So the image is created. Because of that image, we will be always, there is one curious incident which really happened, and of course, all this I recorded in my books. At one point of time, Kotwal Ramachandra and three of us were in a farm in a village. There, the main political person of the village used to come and have food with us. And he used to say to Kotwal Ramachandra that he knows Kotwal Ramachandra. Of course, we were in escape, and we said this Kotwal Ramachandra has some natraj, he is a businessman, and he believed it. And he was narrating to Kotwal Ramachandra that he knows Kotwal Ramachandra. And Kotwal Ramachandra used to ask him, and he was a figure because he always believed that he should not be seen in the public. That mystery should be maintained. He never used to mix with anybody except his business. So he asked him, what is it, Sahib? What will we be doing with Kotwal Ramachandra? He said, yesterday I was with Home Minister. He came in a plastic, big suitcase, and he opened it. There was just a head ordered by the Home Minister to finish his political opponent. And Kotwal Ramachandra asked him, oh my God, he does such things? Yes, sir. Every day he gives on a silver platter some head to some politician or big businessman, and they will pay in lakhs. And Kotwal Ramachandra was struggling for 1,000 rupees at that time. And they believed it. When he was talking, they believed it. After he left, Kotwal told me, yes, we can believe this person because he does not have even an inkling of idea that I am Kotwal. See, it is a question of image. I wanted to break that image. Before going to the world of crimes, that time itself, I was quite well read. And I share indirect affinity with my brother Anthony because the same writers are my writers who shaped me. Tolstoy, Dostoevsky, Albert Camus, Sartre, they are the writers. And English poets, William Blake and such great writers, they shaped our internal world. And he is also shaped by those writers. So I was already well versed in literature. So I had to decide when I became a very bigger than life image in the underworld, what I have to do. I had three choices. One is becoming a politician, or a businessman, or a cultural figure. Since it was there in my thinking, my mind and my blood about writing and arts, I decided to open my own magazine to demystify, demythify this criminal world. Before that, they used to say, Kotwal Ramachandra is a lone wolf. That man is a big tiger. He is a big elephant. But I knew they are all like me. If we could have fight with each other, and one round I could have won, another round they could have won. It is like, and I don't think anybody would have conquered against Mr. Yadav, our presiding officer. He looks so disciplined. And army man, defense man. So I wanted to demystify it. So I started writing. I told them, you have seen me Already you have seen it till the age of 25, 26 that I was in the cultural world. Only in between I went to some other place. I have come back, I remain same. This is what I wanted to do and elected the medium of writing. And of course, later on, making films.
Okay, before I go back to you, Anthony, I want to ask you one more thing. How do you evaluate the normal world from the prism of underworld? You've touched upon some of the aspects of it, but how do you evaluate the normal world? Is it right? It is wrong? How is it?
If I allow me to express totally and
Please
freely.
please do.
When compared to the underworld, the normal world is very, very hypocritical. I feel bad to say it. Look at our politicians. Look at our media. Look at our business world. Look at any normal world you consider as normal. It is not only hypocritical. Here 2 plus 2 is always either 3 or 5. In the underworld, 2 plus 2 is always 4. We may not like somebody, but we know he is 2. We don't like somebody, he is 3. He is with us, he is 4. But here, 2 plus 2 is not at all. The 2 at the present stage, all of us know. Not only myself, even everybody here. We know that 2 plus 2 is not 4 or in this normal world.
Thank you very much. I think what you've said is, as an iceberg, a very small portion of it is above water, but quite a bit of it is underwater. Probably all of us would like to reflect on this after we go back. Anthony, I want to come to you now, and I want to ask you. Now your past is past, right? You yourself have moved on from writing the stories of the actual Tamil experiences, LTT experiences, to writing fictional stories of the people that you've met or know, or a filmmaker. I want to ask you about Deepan. So, ladies and gentlemen, his movie Deepan, which released, I think about in 2010, if I'm right, 15, that won the Best Film Award at the Cannes Festival, and since then he's been getting a lot of roles, etc. How has been the world of films? Do you think that's a stronger way to send a message about any cause to the people in comparison to books?
Okay, about this film. So I worked with director Jacodiar. Jacodiar is very famous director and senior director in France. So after this Palme d'Or, in the stage I was with him. So one journalist asked to him, "What is the message of this film?" So director said, "I sent message only by inbox." So he don't believe telling message in the cinema. His point of view, not my view. So this is not my film. I am just an actor in this film. So basically this film on his view, a love story. That's a love story. But for me, in the French cinema, in French cinema, first time talk about Sri Lankan people. French cinema first time show Sri Lankan faces in screen, and little bit this film talk about the refugees. That's.
You made quite a few films. As an activist, do you think you are able to pass on your message to films?
Yeah, most of the time. I have made about 6 films, and I am the one who scripted all those movies. 2 of the films, Agni and Yadav, are considered cult films, not only from Kannada standard point, even from the Indian standard point. Even a director of the caliber of Ram Gopal Verma, he had come, met us, he prized Agni and Yadav, but his only concern was, I did not do it from a commercial point of view. Because, like I said, I am involved with books and films. Through books, through films, we can not only create the reality, we can change the reality. Even now I believe it. I always tell my youngsters, go after knowledge. It is, yes, it is like cloud going in the sky. But you can create, you can change the shape of the clouds. Our cloud is the reality. It may not be there forever, but as long as it is there, it is there. So change it. Use books and use films. In future, from this year onwards, I am making at least 1 or 2 movies a year. And in the past, it was all bridge films or more towards arts, artistic films. Now I want to conquer the commercial world, my friends. I'll come to the commercial world. I want to reach the nook and corners of my state first and then country later. I want to make film for all the people and through films. Like there are many films which will make you just kill your time. I want to make films where the ongoers, where the audience will spend their time, take something back with them. So totally I want to involve in filmmaking and of course writing too.
All the very best for your commercial filmmaking
Thank
venture. You've got if you need a actor, you already have been introduced to one. You just have to fly him down from France and give him $1 million. Probably he'll act in your film.
That we will see. We will explore. And he looks like a typical face for our kind of films. I'm so happy about it.
Okay, before I go to the question and answer session.
You too, Mr. Presiding Officer.
Oh, thank you very much. If you need a role for me, I'll be happy to do. Now what we're going to do is, do you want to ask any question directly to him? Would you like to ask?
No. The only thing I want to say about something about this Islamophobia and this Tamil phobia in Sri Lanka. Tamil phobia in Sri Lanka was culture phobia. It was culturally based. Like you said, it had nothing to do with religion or even with the language. It is culture. A culture, particular culture was suppressed. That's why they had to take up the arms. Islamophobia is not like that. Even Muslims don't like it. Majority of Muslims, majority out of lack, only one may like it because I'm living with Muslims. Islamophobia should be condemned, and this cultural phobia should be sympathized.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a mic, I think, somewhere, and you're free to ask any question that you might have for Mr. Agni or for Mr. Anthony. Where is the mic? Yeah, mic is there. Please raise your hand and then ask your question, please. Yes, sir, over there.
Question is obviously to Mr. Sreedhar. In the underworld, when you were there, were you always considered as an intellectual, fitted in the underworld, always treated as a guru?
No. Underworld did not treat me as a guru. There were bigger figures. They were called Annas, like Jairaj, Kotwal Ramchandra, and for some years Murtaprai. But they used to respect me for my intellectual pursuits. They used to respect me a lot.
Sir, one more. What has been more satisfying, being in the underworld or being a writer or being a filmmaker?
This is a very tough question to answer. A very tough question to answer. And you can say, like our presiding officer said, all three.
Yes, any more questions over there? If you can take it there, the mic. Yeah.
Any question can be asked, good, bad and ugly. I am not the Don, I am not the underworld man, I am a writer.
Don't be afraid, please ask what you want to ask, please.
Fine, sir. So, my question is obviously to Agni, Sreedhar, sir. So basically, this is a technical question on criminal biology. Basically, I'm a molecular biologist from Indian Institute of Science. I have read most of your books, if not all. So there is a drastic difference between the crime scene in Mumbai or else crime scene in Bangalore. So what I observed, there is a pattern in Bangalore crime, as in there is some sort of Gardi Manes in Bangalore. Even in Mysore, basically I am from Mysore, so we have Gardi Mane and KG Boklo, Bandi Keri and all those things. So why these, the Gundaism or these rowdies mushroomed around these Gardi Manes? Gardi Mane ಏನಕ್ಕೆ ಇದು rowdyism ಶುರು ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ ಸರ್?
Because Gardi Mane is always about tough boys. They are pilewans. Ordinary people, like I said, image. There is not an image. It is the existing figure, existing personality. He is a strong man. If he decides, he can trample anybody. That is the reason, and it is only during those times where the people from Gardi Mane used to come into the underworld. Now it is not like that. Even 4.5 feet tall, and not more than 40 kgs have become dreaded names. And also, Mumbai is different. Mumbai, more than underworld, it is a criminal world. In Bangalore, in Karnataka, the underworld started in 1974 by one of the biggest visionaries we have ever come across in India, that is Devraj Ars. We should always think about it. Devraj Ars was a man of visions. He had insights. He wanted to do, he used to devote all his time for the oppressed classes. And he is the one who started the underworld also, to create fear in these far world people. So there is a difference. It is not a criminal world, it is an underworld. It was by politicians.
Sreedhar sir.
Okay, yes, here.
Hello.
Yes?
Sreedhar sir.
Ah.
ಸರ್ ನೀವು ತಮಸ್ಸು ಆದ್ಮೇಲಿಂದ ಸೈಲೆಂಟ್ ಆಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿರ ಸಿನಿಮಾ ಸ್ಪೇಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾಕೆ ಸರ್ ಏನಾರು ಈ
ಎದೆಗಾರಿಕೆ we did after Tamasu.
ಅಲ್ಲ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮ್ದು
No, direction takes a lot of energy and lots of time. Lot of time. So that is the main reason. Even now, our young director is there. My name is Shunya. Stand up and just wish them. So he will be directing it. I am writing the script because it takes all your energy. You cannot involve in any other thing.
Okay, yes, please.
Mr. Anthony, the LTT is now effectively finished after 2009. Right? For all practical purposes, it looks like the Tamils of Sri Lanka have been suppressed. In your view, will they rise again? Will they claim what is rightfully theirs?
So now our people don't like one more armed struggle. It's enough. 30 years war, it's enough. So now next generation. So no one like armed struggle. No one like LTT political way. Now we are fighting for our political rights, but not old way as a LTT.
Okay, I think we can accommodate last two questions. The gentleman over there in red shirt. Can someone
Sreedhar,
hear?
sir.
Yeah, okay, someone has got a mic.
They say education is used everywhere. So when you were in the underworld, did education help you in any situation?
Because of education, I wanted to come out of the underworld and create something in the normal world. If I were not educated, I think I would have just ended up as a totally underworld guy. Education is all important.
Very good. We can accommodate just one more question, please. Yeah.
My question is for Anthony, sir. So you said that you are a storyteller. So can you tell me what is the difference between a storyteller and a writer?
Okay. It's the same thing, no? Storyteller, writer. But no, I mean, normally in Europe, the journalist thought I come from LTT. I was site soldier. I have left my school 15 years old. Then they thought I am a stupid. So I am right all on my experience. So therefore, I want clear. I am a student of Tolstoy, Dostoevsky. I am a student of Maxim Gorky. So I am not only writing autofiction or autobiography. I am a fiction writer. That means storyteller.
Okay. Okay. Last one, yes, please.
Yeah.
Two more questions. Okay, please.
Hello. Sreedhar sir.
Tell me, sir.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening. Tell me, sir.
You have spent almost 20 years.
Person to answer this question, but I am loser. We did one armed struggle and we lost. So we lost everything. So, but only one thing I can tell you, don't think about armed struggle or violence way as Sri Lankan way. So democracy is very important. So you should fight, you should protest by democracy way. That's it. I am always with you.
Sir, good afternoon. Huge cry about giving the dual citizenship to Sri Lankans and Tamilian. Is that the same voice that is there in Sri Lanka also? Is what I'm asking. How Sri Lanka la kuda இந்த மாதிரி dual citizenship கேட்டுட்டு இருக்காங்களா இல்ல தமிழ்நாட்டுல மட்டுமே இந்த சீமான் கும்பல் மட்டுமே அந்த क्वेश्चन கேட்டுட்டு இருக்காங்கன்றது என்னோட क्वेश्चन.
In the colony period, British colony period, I think more than 10 lakhs Indian, South Indian workers came to estate to work. This happened 300 years ago, and still they struggle for their citizenship in Sri Lanka. Even in Malaysia too, they are a problem. So, but in Tamil Nadu, last 20 years, the Sri Lankan refugees who lived in Tamil Nadu, they asked not dual citizen, just one citizen, Indian citizen. But no one considered about that.
Okay, I think we cannot take any more questions. I would just like to conclude by saying this. In case you people are wondering, what am I sitting here and talking to these two gentlemen? It is purely for the simple reason that I also have a true crime book which was published last year. It is called Queens of Crime, 10 true stories of women criminals from India, which I co-wrote along with Bollywood actor Sushant Singh. So in addition to Queens of Crime, which is available at the bookstore, the books of Mr. Agni Sreedhar are also available, and of Mr. Anthonythasan. So after this session, you are welcome to go and pick up the books. We will be very happy to sign it for you. With that, let us put our hands together for the wonderful audience as well. And thank you, Mr. Agni. It was really a pleasure. Thank you. I was very frightened in the beginning, but I think we've become good friends.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you all.